Alrighty then, and a very warm welcome to another Shakes and Fidget video in English. And today we're going to talk about the new class. We need your thoughts. Time to shape the future of Shakes and Fidget. Help us create a new Gloom-themed class. Let us know which of the three class concepts you fancy the most. Upcoming poll will cover possible abilities. Your call shapes the game. Thanks for being part of your gaming journey and for your contribution to develop Shakes and Fidget further. Really guys, before we click on the link, I have to appreciate Plaqgue to be that kind of transparent, to include everybody, every player within this topic. I mean, in the last 10 years, 12 years, many changes happened suddenly. They were official, nobody knew about it before, and that was connected to a lot of errors or to a lot of bugs and fixes which were needed afterwards. And during the last 2 years especially, they more often gave pre-information, they tested things out, and most of the time, if they tested something before and included the community, then those changes being made were kind of positive. So basically there weren't many bad changes who weren't tested before, and that is really something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, shout out to Plaqgue to make it like this. It's really important to go on like this. So it will be the first poll. There will be more, so we might see all informations right now, but yeah, let's have a look. So first of all, there are general information, something which was already mentioned in-game, but they want to have a class gloomy overall picture. This stands out well from the previous classes, and most of your suggestions also went in this direction. So this is something which is very close to the community. And well, I know that some of those proposal classes were like, I'm not sure if they were really leaked, but some people said, oh, I read something about this. Yeah, for example, the Necromancer. So yeah, but this just shows that it's community close. Yeah, as soon as the concept chosen by you is determined, we will present possible abilities for the new class in another survey. So this basically would mean that we just will see one ability in the future, depending on which concept is chosen by us. Well, okay. I would like to see all the abilities personally before deciding which is the best overall class for me. But I mean, it's okay to do. The class should fairly integrate into the structure of the other classes. The wizard disables the ability. The battle should look exciting and varied. Yes, and this is something which I really agree. I like, for example, the Demon Hunter ability. It looks better for me. I like the rage of the Berserk as well. And this is very interesting. The wizard disables the ability. So that is why when they changed the Demon Hunter and basically Druid and Bard after, or they introduced the Bard and they changed the Druid, there was a big struggle with the wizard ability. Yeah, the chances for PvP for the Bard, for example, were like unreal. They are still not balanced, but it's a little bit more fair now in general. That's why the Berserker had to be nerfed. Plaqgue really worked on the progress. They saw, or they understood, that if they want to implement new classes, the mage has to still disable everything to make it kind of fair. I'm not saying it's fair and overall, but this is really something which we experienced in the last or during this year, that Plaqgue understood that the only way to successfully bring in new classes will be to take the wizard on its own. And yeah, I said this before already. I really said during the Berserker nerf that I was expecting this nerf because the concept of new classes is harder for, especially for the abilities, if the mage is somewhat included. So that's why the mage has to be excluded. That's why the mage disables the ability for all the 3 classes which are in proposal. Yeah. Well, in the first proposal, Necromancer is kind of the most common, because I mean, besides of Shakes and Fidget, a lot of people are playing role games, MMOs, whatever, and Necromancer is a really beloved class. I think even in the newest in Diablo or World of Warcraft, those are very common classes, and this is one of the classes people were talking about in general already 1 or 2 years ago. And this is the concept, this is the design. It looks very, very nice. You have the dark side color included, you have the soul color included, which I like very good. And of course the Necromancer, what would I expect? I would expect his ability to rise a soldier, for example, and this soldier could attack the opponent, and the opponent needs to attack the soldier before attacking the Necromancer. So I would expect the Necromancer to have a little bit less HP, maybe as much HP as a mage would have, and I would expect the minion to not do that much damage, but maybe to either there are different kind of minions, like a tank minion or a damage minion, and it's random which one will be rose, or there's a variety of numbers of minions. So this is what I would expect in general. This is, and well, feel free to add your expectations or your comments below. If you have if you see something different than I, please call me out, because I'm not a very much of an expert in terms of MMOs in general. Oh, by the way, one detail on the Necromancer is that you don't see a weapon. So perhaps it could even mean that he is not able to attack directly, which makes it a little bit more interesting. The second proposal, the Plaqgue Doctor, Infectious Master of Plagues. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, to be honest, but first of all, the design is looking very nice as well. I like the mask he's wearing, especially it's looking like a mage with a druid mask, an eagle mask or whatever. And I like the lights. It's kind of could be a Yu-Gi-Oh opponent, but well, what can we see? He is wearing kind of a weapon. It looks like a mage weapon with a small additional plaque. And in terms of the description above, I could experience that this will be somewhat like a mage, but he will throw plaques to his opponent. Maybe before attacking, like a fireball of the battle mage, he will throw plaque, and this plaque will make like a continuous damage on its opponent, because it's like a toxic tincture being thrown at the opponent, and it either could damage the opponent or it could damage and like debuff the opponent. Like it could slow his attack speed, like for example, the Plaqgue Doctor could attack 2 times in a row, or it could just decrease the damage or the armor. Maybe there are different kind of plaques being chosen randomly. One is maybe a little bit stronger than the other one, and well, there's a lot of variety included as well, so it sounds really interesting too. Last but not least, the proposal 3 is the Trickster, and I must say that this is like the design I prefer most. I like color combination of violet, dark violet, and red. I like the clothes in general. He's like the Trickster's like a puppet master. I really like the puppet's look. It's really scary, to be honest. He's looking like a horror clown, some kind, and I really like the description, to be honest. So I read it through. I really like the description most because I have an imagination, but it's not like I really could give the perfect words like I could have done with Necromancer or with Plaqgue. What I like most in the description, his confusing riddle rhymes have given many listeners bloody ears. The longer his tirade continues, the more grandiose his final promises to be. In a surprising interlude, he can make a shadow image of himself appear. So these sentences, this picture where the Trickster appears to be a puppet master with a small minion in his control, and then he says he is able to make a shadow image of himself appear. So either he's able to have different abilities depending on his life or his for example, evade turns or attack rounds, in general. Make a shadow image of himself appear would be like his basic HP wouldn't get lower because his shadow would fight for him, perhaps, or more simpler, his attack is getting stronger for one attack, for example. It sounds like the most variative character in my mind, which makes it very, very interesting. And that's pretty cool. So which suggestion do you like best? Oh, that's hard, really. Basically, I like all. I think this would be an intelligence-based character, but maybe not being able to attack for himself, just by minions. So I like the idea. The design is good, but it's all depending on the minions so far. So like the ability, the variability or the chance of having the most various game experience seems to be a little bit lower for me. Then we have the Plaqgue. It's basically the same, but I like the idea that those toxic tinctures could have very various functions. Like, as I said before, it could just give a debuff for his opponent in terms of HP, armor, or damage. Or it could make a specific amount of damage per round. Like, for example, the poison debuff due to the legendary dungeon. And that's why I prefer this class before the Necromancer at the moment, just basically. And I think he's able to attack himself, which makes it more a little bit more fitting to the game structure overall. Well, and the Trickster is maybe the most various class, but as well with more chances to hang on with that class, the higher is the risk that this class will be very unbalanced. Maybe I'm thinking too far, but I just can think which proposal is the best, and with those thoughts in my mind, I would choose the Plaqgue. But well, it's subjective. I mean, I would like each class. Each class sounds very nice, basically. How do you like the design of Proposal 1 Necromancer? Okay. Basically, if I see the chooses, I would design-wise, everything is good, everything is nice, but the nicest one is that one for me. So that's why I'm going to pick it like this. Do you have any further comments to your own ideas? No, please. take care about a kinda fair PvP PvE ratio. Love. So my survey got saved and sent, and well, maybe at the end we can talk about, is it really necessary to have a new class right now? And as I said in the intro, that Shakes and Fidget in general, the development of the game improved. They took the community closer. They give informations more and more before changing something. They want to know, how does it feel? Yeah, basically not all tests have made it to official changes. Yeah, so that's why at the moment I don't see any problem by having surveys for new classes and concepts and then maybe abilities, because Plaqgue Games has the manpower now to develop different parts of the game combined. So for example, they started the first steps in the beta server with server fusions, because they prepared it with having better servers and improving or including the new backend. And in terms of classes, they included the new backend, and they decided to keep the mage out of all abilities to make it possible that new classes can have a fair chance. And as long as all those steps are communicated before changing something officially to have the best possible result, and as long as the general game performance is not decreasing, I'm fine with every kind of changes or tests they're going to do. Yeah, and that's why I don't see any problem by implementing a new class so far. And well, I'm very excited. If you have a different opinion or general an opinion about this, and I'm very excited what kind of class will be chosen in general. I think the Black Doctor, which was my pick, will maybe not be the most common one, because I think the Necromancer is too famous in general as character. And yeah, but I mean, if they pick one now, they may pick another one later. So if the concepts are like, if the vote is close, for example, they have a good base to say, okay, let's implement another class maybe a little bit later. So far, so good. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye. See you soon.